Alright, so the first thing that we're going to want to do is install our battery. And this is a 12 volt, 8 amp hour sealed lead acid battery. All of the connections have been waterproofed. You can see I have a mounting bracket on the inside there, a cradle. And really this just sets in place, just like this. Good and solid. The weight will keep it steady. You can see it's really solid. It's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to leave this connection undone for now. You can see underneath the main power runs all the way down the bottom of the hull, and we've got a waterproof connector right here, and that's what's going to connect to our main cylinder. So let's grab that cylinder right now. You can see it's a little wet. I just had it in the pool testing it for leaks, and I'm happy to say that the new seal is working perfectly. So this is about the trickiest part of the whole operation. I'm just going to tuck the power cord out of the way. So what we need to do here is connect our drive shafts, and to do that we simply match them up with the those dog bone connectors right there. I'm going to try and get my fingers in to grab the other one. So it looks like the easiest way to do that is port side drive shaft first, and then starboard drive shaft. So those are both in place there now. And once that's done, you basically just drop it in place. So both of our drive shafts are connected, and we've got outputs for rudder and dive planes right there. Going to connect the power lead. There we go. So there is our power connector. I'm going to snap that together and make sure that we tuck that down in the bottom of the hull underneath this flotation foam where it's not going to interfere with our drive shafts. The other things that we need to worry about back here is the main receiver antenna, and I am going to feed that down through the back of the hull as well, all the way to the back. Tuck it underneath this bulkhead right there. And our testing tube, I'm just going to lay that over the top. So our rear connections are all made up. Now what we're going to do is charge up our ballast system. So this is what we're going to need. This is they call it Propel, but it's airbrush propellant. So what I've got on here is the supply can adapter. I'm going to screw that down, tighten down the valve. There's not much left in here, but it'll be enough for testing at the pond. I'm going to grab radio system. Always transmitter goes on first. Again, this is a VEX 6-channel computerized radio. It's really, really nice because you've got the option for setting endpoints, scales, servo reversing, and all of that fun stuff on there. So now that that's on, we can connect our main drive battery. And we're going to tuck the connections out of the way in this center section. Good deal. So let's check just a few of the functions here. Here's our dive planes. And that's all plumbed in together so that the front and rear planes operate in tandem. Take a look at our rudder. And we'll give it a little bit of throttle. Everything looks to be working really, really well. And let's check out our ballast system here. So this is the vent in operation and the blow. Now the blow function isn't going to actually work with the ballast tank empty. As I said before in my previous videos, there's a gas saver on there, and that's basically an arm connected to a float. So when the tank is empty, the arm is not quite long enough to depress the valve in there. So what I am going to do, I'm just going to top up the main propel reservoir. And to do that, you simply press down, let it flow in there as much as you can, let it go, let it warm up again. Now, as you fill that, it's gonna get cold. And we're going to just want to give it a couple of charges. Perfect. Screw the cap back on. Now that that is all done, let's move on to securing the cylinder in place, and we do that with this hold down bracket. It goes in place like this. It clips on over top of that nut. Just like that. I'm going to use our stainless steel bolts. There's 2 of them. And the last one. Okay, now that that is done, that is rock solid in place. It can't slip forward, it can't slip back. Now that this is off, we can see that the pitch controller is functional. That automatically corrects for the pitch of the boat. Now that that's all done, basically I am ready to bring this to the pond. So what I'm going to do is I am going to disconnect the battery, tuck that back in there, turn off my radio, and I'm ready to put the hull back on just for transport to the pond.
Well, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video and the build progression for this Engel of Germany US Gato class submarine. In terms of performance, just give you a little bit of feedback because I didn't obviously get a lot of footage as I was trying to drive the boat and take video at the same time. It's a great performer. You can really tell the difference between surface speed and submerged speed. Certainly if you look at the statistics for these old fleet boats, you'll see a significant difference between those 2 speeds. On the surface, it's a very, very quick boat, as you can see in the later portion of that video footage. Sets up a really nice wake, but as soon as that thing gets underneath the water, it slows down considerably. But you know, that's a factor of the boat design, certainly not anything to do with how the RC version of it was constructed. Has a decent turning radius. This boat has a big rudder, probably an oversized rudder, located directly behind the propellers, obviously. So turning performance is actually quite good, and then the dive planes offer some really good pitch control as well. So all in all, I'm really happy with it. You know, certainly taking a look at what this boat looked like before I got it and what it looks like now, there's a big change. So again, I hope you enjoyed this journey to get this boat back into the water again. Hope you'll join me for my next build. Thanks a lot. We'll catch you next time.